Welcome to Comfort TV, the channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. I am Faith Kevin. Thanks for joining us. First, the headlines. Nupeng raises alarm over blackmail, smuggling allegations. FCT resident doctors begin indefinite strike. LP chieftain to Abia voters reject non-performing lawmakers. Indian, 3 others arrested over 3.9 billion naira tramadol intercepted at Lagos Airport. Arawa Group hails President Tinubu's economic reforms. Motorists lament extortion on Aba-Ikotekpene Highway. On business news, Falana says World Bank IMF forced Nigeria to end troll subsidy. On the foreign scene, China says U.S. chip maker NVIDIA violated antitrust law. And on sports, Tokyo 2025, Nigeria's Tobi Amusan storms into 100-meter final. In the news, the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, Nupeng, has decried what it described as a coordinated campaign of blackmail, misinformation and outright lies targeted at tarnishing its image on social media. In a circular to members, Nupeng dismissed as pure propaganda claims that its officials were aiding smuggling, collecting 1 naira on every liter of petroleum products brought into Nigeria, and working as part of a cabal that allegedly sabotaged government-owned refineries. According to the union, the blackmail, distortion of fact, and misinformation circulating on social media about attacks are from those on revenge. The Association of Resident Doctors, FCTA, announced its decision in a statement to end its indefinite strike. The statement was issued by its General Secretary, Dr. Agbo Afiong, following an emergency general meeting held on September 14. The doctors vowed not to return to work until the government and hospital management demonstrates genuine commitment to the welfare of doctors and the health of FCT residents. Last week, the association embarked on a 7-day warning strike to press for improved working conditions and payment of outstanding entitlements. Other grievances include acute manpower shortages and poor welfare packages, which they say are taking a toll on the health and morale of medical personnel. According to him, the territory requires at least 200 additional doctors, but the numbers currently fall far short. He added that the pressure has forced some doctors onto antidepressants and antihypertensive medications. The resident doctors maintain that the strike would continue until concrete steps are taken to resolve their grievances. A chieftain of the Labour Party, LP in Abia State, Mr. Peter Azubike, has urged voters not to return non-performing leaders to office in the 2027 general elections, stressing that the state needs visionary representation to end years of stagnation. Speaking at a town hall meeting convened by the Old Obioma Ngwa Concerned Citizens in Osisioma Ngwa Council, Azubike lamented that many of those elected in 2023 had abandoned their constituents soon after assuming office. He particularly faulted lawmakers representing the Obingwa, Osisioma Ngwa Ugunabo federal constituency, saying none had made meaningful impact despite each of the 3 local governments taking turns to occupy seats since 1999. Azubike, who commended Governor Alex Otti for providing a new face of leadership in the state, said Abia deserved similar transformation at the federal level. He accused past representatives of enriching themselves at the expense of the electorate. An Indian businessman, Gupta Ravi Kumar, and 3 Nigerian accomplices, Ogunlana Noah Olenrewaju, Olushola Idris Kayode, and Bakare Korede Muhib, have been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) in connection with the seizure of 2,248,000 pills of tramadol, equaling 200 milligrams. Over 225 milligrams, intercepted at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, MMIA, Ikeja, Lagos. The tramadol shipment with a street value of over 3 million, it arrived at the airport shed of the Lagos Airport on an Ethiopian airline flight on Monday, September 8, 2025, disguised as multivitamins in 114 cartons. A statement by Femi Babafemi, the agency spokesperson in Abuja, on Sunday said a team of NDLEA officers placed the consignment on the surveillance, swooped on the clearing agent and 2 drivers who were trying to move the shipment out of the airport in 2 trucks. According to the statement, a follow-up operation the next Friday led to the arrest of the Indian businessman Gupta Ravi Kumar as he was attempting to take delivery of the consignment. A search of his bag led to the recovery of 900 grams of skunk, a strain of cannabis concealed in crayfish. A first-time traveler, Onyeganochi, claimed the bag was given to him to help take to Doha by Qatar-based Nigerian Ohadiego Anthony Uchenna, who actually followed him to the airport. Arewa Youth Group has commended President Bola Tinubu for the economic reforms introduced by his administration, describing them as deliberate and strategic steps towards national economic recovery. The group, which comprises youth organizations across the 19 northern states, the Federal Capital Territory, and the Northern Diaspora, also passed a vote of confidence in Finance Minister Wale Edun. In a statement issued, signed by its convener Abdullah Duga, the group stated the recent economic indicators showed that the reforms were beginning to yield tangible results. According to him, the development is a reflection of a stabilizing and increasingly predictable economy, aligning with President Tinubu's assertion that the country is moving in the right direction. Angry motorists and passengers, especially traders commuting between Akwa Ibom and the neighboring Abia State for routine businesses, have decried alleged extortion by security agencies. They complained that the short stretch of the Ikotekbene-Aba Interstate Highway has been overwhelmed with 20 checkpoints from Ikotekbene, Essien Udim to Opobo Junction, peripheral to Aba North. The passengers, mostly traders, disembarked at various spots, especially Ariaria International Markets, to shop their wares for onward retail at Ikotekbene Uyo and other locations in Akwa Ibom. According to reports, armed soldiers, policemen, National Drug Law Enforcement Agencies, NDLEA, and the local toll collectors from the village dot the highway. It was gathered that while the commercial buses and taxis have a fixed toll of between 200 naira and 500 naira per checkpoint, long-haul trucks and other articulated vehicles pay much higher, at 1,000 naira and above, depending on the nature of the cargo. At Itam International Market in Itu local government area close to Uyo, the state capital, it was gathered that though the prices of major staples including gari, beans, rice, potato and onions have dropped significantly, the prices of various meats, pork, duck, beef and goat remain astronomically high. However, a senior member of the House of Fulani Committee spoke on condition of anonymity, urged the government at all levels, state, local governments, areas and federal, to urgently intervene so that the masses could breathe under the yoke of the prevailing socio-economic challenges facing the country. Comfort TV, the channel news, returns shortly with business, foreign and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. This is Comfort TV, the channel news. On business, human rights lawyer Femi Falana-San states that the removal of petrol subsidy in Nigeria was imposed by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and not a domestic policy choice. Falana said no country in the world has eliminated subsidies. He argued that international financial institutions compelled Nigeria to take the step. Recall that President Bola Tinubu ended the petrol subsidy on May 29, 2023 during his inauguration, while the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, announced the unification of all forex market segments soon after. Falana also opposed plans for a proposed 5% fuel surcharge, urging the government to remit funds already owed to the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, instead of imposing new taxes. Also lending his voice, Mohammed Sanusi II, Emir of Kano and former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has said the removal of the petrol subsidy prevented Nigeria from sliding into bankruptcy. The monarch described the subsidy regime as unsustainable, arguing that it placed the burden of global oil fluctuations, exchange rate volatility, transportation costs, and refining expenses squarely on government's finances. Sanusi criticized successive administrations for failing to rehabilitate domestic refineries, arguing that subsidies only enriched foreign refineries while exporting jobs. On the foreign scene, China said Monday that an investigation found U.S. chip giant Nvidia had run afoul of the country's antitrust rules and vowed an additional probe just after trade talks between Beijing and Washington entered the second day. Beijing announced the investigation in December and is currently engaged in an intense contest with the United States for supremacy in the critical field of semiconductor. The statement did not provide further details about NVIDIA's alleged legal violations of the further probe. In sports, Nigeria's sprint queen Tobi Amusan has stormed into the women's 100-meter hurdles final at the Tokyo 2025 World Championship after powering to victory in her semi-final heat. Tobi Amusan clocked an impressive 12 minutes 36 seconds to secure her spot in the final, finishing ahead of the Netherlands' Nadine Visser, who came second in 12 minutes 45 seconds, and Poland's Pia, who crossed the line third in 12 minutes 51 seconds. The 27-year-old world record holder, who set a stunning 12:12 marks at the 2022 World Championship in Eugene, looked comfortable throughout the race, controlling the field from the start. Her performance has raised expectations as she heads into the final, where she will attempt to reclaim the world title she won in 2022 and defend her position as one of the sport's most consistent hurdlers. And that's our news bulletin for today. But before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. The Pen raises alarm over blackmail, smuggling allegations. FCT residents' doctors begin indefinite strike. LP chieftain tells Abia voters to reject non-performing lawmakers. On business news, Falana says World Bank, IMF forced Nigeria to end petrol subsidy. On foreign scene, China says U.S. chipmaker NVIDIA violated antitrust laws. And on sports, Tokyo 2025, Nigeria's Tobi Amusan storms into 100-meter hurdle final. Thanks for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. I am Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay safe, stay informed.